What's up guys, welcome back to my channel for another episode of On the Shelf, a show where I like to experiment with different posing and display options with my collection in the hopes of giving you some ideas for your own displays. So stick around because today I'm bringing to you my Hot Toys Iron Man display featuring 17 figures across two 6 Series module cases. But before we get started, do us a favor, if you like my content, hit that like button, notification bell and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to it. Okay guys, let's take a look at Shelf 1, featuring a total of 8 figures representing the films Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. For this display, I'm using a pattern of 4 figures high and 4 figures low. This declutters the shelf by using the space better. That way the top of the display doesn't look empty and the bottom doesn't look crowded. Getting yourself some risers is an easy way to make use of the space better. That said, I still have the Mark 6 2.0 with gantry and the Mark 2 2.0 on pre-order, and that's going to be a challenge to try and fit in this very shelf. But for now, this is the setup, so let's zoom in and take a closer look. Iron Man 1, one of my all-time favorite movies. And if you've been watching my content for a while now, you know I've said it many times already. It's the birth of an iconic character and the MCU. This movie gives me all the feels, even after countless rewatches. In fact, I'd say it keeps getting better every time I watch it. I'm looking forward to adding the Mark II to this display, which will then give me 4 of his iconic looks from the film. I could see myself doing a posing and display showcase with these 4 pieces to make some fun displays. Kicking off with the die-cast Mark I 2.0, not a figure that you can do too much with posing wise due to his bulk, but I find I don't need to do anything crazy. In fact, I've had him like this since the last episode of Iron Man On the Shelf Mark I. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. He's heavy with the die-cast and feels solid in hand and does everything I need him to do on the shelf, and that's have presence. The suit represents Tony Stark changing his ways and beginning his journey as the hero we know him to become. Iconic. Moving over to Mech Test Tony 2.0. This one's another special one for me. I love all the moments of Tony in his workshop building his suit and running his tests. In a way, I get the same feeling when I'm tinkering in my own collection room, whether it be building my displays or creating content for YouTube. I think it's a great figure. I like the sculpt, and the whole look in general is actually pretty cool, I think. A must have for any Iron Man, especially Iron Man 1 fan. Okay, now let's take a look at the glorious Mark III 2.0 with the Ironmonger base. This piece is still one of my favorite figures in the collection. It hits on all areas for me. The figure has weight and is heavy and has the cold feel of die cast, a spectacular head sculpt and plenty of accessories and an awesome diorama base. Combine that with it representing his first proper red and gold Iron Man suit, chef's kiss. I'm so tempted to get another one just so I can display him clean in the full suit along with this battle damage look from the end of the film. Lani may end me though if I do that. Iron Man figures aren't cheap down under. If I do get it, it'll just have to be our little secret. Moving over to the beginning of the Iron Man 2 display, featuring the magnificent Iron Man Mark IV, along with the Kit Bash Tony Stark, which I have to represent his tux from the start of the film when he lands at the Stark Expo. I have him using the head sculpt and glasses that come with the Mark IV, as well as the donut box and donut and coffee cup. The body and the tux I picked up separately at 1/6 kit. The Mark IV is one of my favorite looking suits. I love the mechanical look. I think the look of the chest and torso armor is more aesthetic and more muscular than the Mark III. For the display, I've always had the idea of having the Mark IV hovering in the back, accompanying Tony much like a bodyguard, and I have to say I'm really happy with how this duo is looking together on the shelf. Finishing up the shelf for now with quite a space eater, featuring the Mark V suit up front and center with the Mark V 2.0 and Whiplash in the back, locked in battle. Down the front here to fill the empty space underneath the Mark V suit up, I decided to put the suitcase accessory that comes with him here. I love this piece, it's an intricate and fun accessory to have. The Mark V suit up is a unique piece. It's very finicky and was a bit frustrating trying to put together knowing there's probably no going back once I put all the pieces on him. But I don't mind. I love how it looks, and if ever there was a suit up moment to have on the shelf, this one is a strong contender. I've had this set up like this for a long time now, and I still don't see myself changing it up. Whenever I look at this display, it takes me back to that epic moment between them on the racecourse. It's always a highlight when rewatching the film. Okay guys, let's take a look at shelf number 2, which for now consists of mainly his suits from the Avengers films, starting with the first Avengers all the way to Endgame. In total, I have 9 figures on this shelf, with still the Mark 42 2.0 Deluxe from Iron Man 3 on pre-order. That I'll need to find space for in here when it drops. The pattern for this shelf is 4 figures elevated high in the back, with 5 lower in the front this time. The focus being to give space to each figure, and I can't stress enough how elevating figures and adding layers helps all the figures shine together. So let's zoom in and take a closer look. Starting with the mighty Mark 7, shadowed by the golden Mark 21 Midas. Same suit, different paint job. One of his most epic suits that represents all of those iconic moments it had in the Avengers film. From the suit up when Tony gets thrown out of the window by Loki, to kicking ass against the Chitauri and then flying the nuke up the wormhole again to save the day. Though this guy didn't have as much screen time as I would have liked personally, overall it was iconic. The figure itself is just as iconic. Now, taking a look at the Mark 21 Midas diecast, advertised as being from Iron Man 3 as part of the House Party protocol. I picked this guy up because whilst the gold is cool, it's even better that it's on the Mark 7 armor. The engineering on this particular design is pretty damn awesome. I've had him in this pose or variation of this pose too for ages now, and I still don't feel the need to repose him yet. I think it works well with him shadowing the Mark 7 on the shelf. Moving on to the Mark 43, and for those of you who have watched my previous Iron Man videos, you know I haven't changed this pose in forever either. This was my first Iron Man figure I purchased back in the day, and even though I find now he's a little old and a little loose, I still like this armor and the setup I have for him. Avengers Age of Ultron is one of my favourite MCU films. Maybe one day I'll pop him in the Hulkbuster because that would look awesome and that's a great option for him, but for now I'm content with this pose right here. Shifting over to the Mark 45 from the end of Avengers Age of Ultron. An underrated armor in my opinion. I really do like the bulk of this guy, he's very bulky, and I would have liked to have seen more action from him with this design, but it wasn't to be. Now I've decided to keep him in this pose for a while too, as I like pairing it with the 43 on the shelf. It allows me to have one in the front and one in the back. I have also considered moving them to be posed up with the Hulkbuster to create a fun shrine to the armors from this film, which I did do for a posing showcase, but not display wise yet. By doing that though, it would free up space for incoming Iron Man figures, so it is something to consider. Zooming in on the iconic Mark 46 from Captain America Civil War. Top 5 MCU film of all time for me. This is the original release, and this figure is a standout. So much so, I literally just wanted him standing stoic, holding Cap's shield, that's it. This reminds me of Tony's journey to the end of the film, especially with this fantastic head sculpt. The design of this armor is so nice, it's sleek and mechanical looking still. In fact, this and the 47 from Spider-Man Homecoming are the same design with different paint jobs. So this design is his last mechanical armor before he transitions to nanotech in Infinity War. Now onto the Mark 46 concept armor. Again, same design as the 46 and 47, just another paint scheme. This is a 10-year Marvel anniversary figure for Hot Toys based on a concept design for his armor in the film Captain America Civil War. I got this guy because the colors are awesome, but also because this armor is so cool. I've had so much fun posing and doing photography with all 3 of these figures. You can check out my video called The Three Brothers where I pose up all 3 of these guys together in a posing showcase on the channel, out now. Moving on to the insane Mark 50, the alien suit that bends to Tony's will, creating whatever he thinks of, so it seems. I love this suit too, even more so over the years. It's completely different to his previous suits, but the concept is very cool and I do like the sleekness of it. For what he goes up against in Infinity War, the suit really amplified Iron Man's powers, so much so that he went hard on Thanos. No other suit before could have done that. I have the accessories pack, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty fun mixing and matching switch outs as he did in the film. It makes for so many different display options. For now, I choose to display him like this, showcasing some of my favourite ones. He really is unique to any other Iron Man armour. Finishing up the shelf with the clean Mark 85 and battle damaged Mark 85, Tony's final suit. It's a fantastic design. The colours, the muscular looking physique, all with the ability to create weapons like the Mark 50. So cool. Especially the backpack piece from the moment where he and Thor team up to attack Thanos. That was epic. For the pose on the clean 85, I just wanted him straight up and down, holding the two energy blades with the backpack piece on, just to admire this beautiful design and armour. Moving down to the battle damaged Mark 85 in Frontier, this is my second copy of this figure because, well, I'm an obsessive man-child and I wanted two so I could keep one in the snap pose in my Infinity War and Endgame display, and one where I could play around and pose up differently in my Iron Man display. Currently, this is the last pose I put him in from my previous video showcase titled Why I'm Iron Logan. Go check that out after this if you haven't already. And that's it, guys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of On the Shelf and maybe got some inspiration for your own displays. I thank you all for tuning in, and if you haven't already done so, do us a favour, hit that like button, notification bell and subscribe to the channel. But for now, until next time, I'm out.